It started with a flash drive, such a small thing to destroy a life. 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, and I couldn't sleep. Sarah, my fiancée, was passed out beside me after another 14-hour day at her law firm. I wandered to my home office, thinking I'd catch up on some work emails. That's when I saw it. A package on my doorstep that our camera showed had been delivered at 47 a.m. No return address. Just my name written in handwriting I didn't recognize. Inside was a flash drive with a single sticky note. The truth about Daniel, you deserve to know. Daniel Rivera, my best friend since college, the guy who was the best man at my upcoming wedding, the person I'd trusted with my passwords, my business ideas, my deepest fears. We'd built our careers together, started a tech consulting firm, celebrated every milestone side by side. I still remember the night we met. Northwestern University, freshman year. I was the nerdy kid who kept to himself. Daniel was the charismatic guy everyone wanted to know. We got paired as roommates by chance. He taught me how to talk to people, how to sell ideas, how to believe in myself. I taught him to code, to think strategically, to turn charm into substance. 10 years of friendship, 10 years of late nights building our company, of being there through breakups and celebrations, of finishing each other's sentences. He introduced me to Sarah 3 years ago at a networking event. Marcus, I found your person, he'd said with that trademark smile. He was right. Our company, Chen Rivera Tech Solutions, was thriving. We just landed a contract with one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the country, a seven-figure deal that would set us up for life. Daniel handled sales and client relations. I managed the technical side and operations. Perfect partnership. Or so I thought. I plugged in that flash drive with my hands shaking. It was encrypted, but whoever sent it included instructions for a decryption key. As the files loaded, my stomach started to sink. Bank records. But not mine. Accounts in Daniel's name I'd never known about. Deposits of thousands of dollars from shell companies. Then I saw our company name. Money being siphoned from our accounts into these hidden places. Then came the emails, Daniel communicating with our competitors, with our clients' rivals, selling our proprietary code, our client lists, strategic information, every secret we'd developed, every advantage we'd built. He'd been selling it all. But the worst part? Messages discussing me. Marcus is too trusting. He'll never check the backend systems. Keep him focused on development while we extract what we need. I felt like I'd been punched in the chest. This wasn't just corporate espionage. This was planned, methodical, personal. How long had he been doing this? Since the beginning? I scrolled through more files. Photos of Daniel meeting with people I didn't recognize. Contracts signed in his name only. Cutting me out of deals I'd helped create. Evidence of him accessing my computer, my accounts, my everything. The timestamp on one folder made my blood run cold. 5 years ago. This had been happening since almost the beginning of our partnership. Our entire friendship had been a con. I didn't sleep the rest of that night. Sarah found me at dawn, still staring at the computer screen, printouts scattered everywhere. Marcus, baby, what's wrong? I showed her. Showed. Watched her face go from confusion to horror to anger. Sarah's a lawyer. She immediately understood the legal implications. This is fraud, wire fraud, corporate espionage. Marcus, he could go to prison for this. I need to talk to him first, I said. Are you insane? He's been stealing from you for years. I need to hear him say it. I need to understand why. I called Daniel at 7 a.m. His voice was cheerful, same as always. Marcus, early bird today? Want to grab breakfast? We need to meet, alone, now. Something in my tone must have tipped him off. There was a pause. Everything okay, buddy? Parking garage under your building, 30 minutes. I drove there in a daze. 10 years of memories flooding through my mind, teaching him Python in our dorm room, his speech at my birthday party, the night we celebrated our first big client, drunk on cheap champagne and dreams. Had any of it been real? Daniel was waiting by his Mercedes, leaning against it casually, but I could see the tension in his shoulders. He knew. So, he said as I approached, someone sent you something. 5 years, Daniel. You've been robbing me for 5 years. He didn't even try to deny it. The mask just dropped. The warm, charismatic Daniel vanished, replaced by someone cold, calculating. You were always so naive, Marcus. Brilliant, but naive. You think the world runs on fairness? On friendship? He laughed, bitter. I needed capital. You had the skills, I had the connections and the balls to use them properly. I trusted you with everything. That was your mistake. He pushed off the car, walking closer. You know what your problem is? You're too nice, too honest. In this world, that makes you prey. Why? If you needed money, I would have helped you. We were partners. Partners, he spat the word. You wanted a partner. I wanted an empire. Your name on the company was just convenient. Made it look legitimate while I built the real business. I felt like I didn't know this person. The pharmaceutical deal already sold to their competitor for triple what we're getting paid. Do you know how much people will pay for insider information on drug development? You built the access. I monetized it. That's not just theft, Daniel. That could affect people's health. Real people. He shrugged. Everyone's got a hustle, Marcus. Mine just pays better than yours. I pulled out my phone, opened the recording app I'd started in my pocket. Say that again. His eyes went wide, then narrow. You recording me? Say it again. For the first time, I saw fear on his face. Marcus, come on, we can work this out. I'll cut you in properly, 50-50 on everything. No, 60-40, 70-30. Name your price. There's no price for this, Daniel. You didn't just steal money, you stole years of my life. The next week was a nightmare. I went to the police with everything, the flash drive, the recordings, all of it. They opened a federal investigation. Apparently, I wasn't Daniel's only victim. He'd been running similar schemes with 3 other partners across the country. Our company imploded overnight. Clients fled. The pharmaceutical deal evaporated when they learned their proprietary information had been compromised. We faced lawsuits from 6 different companies. But the worst part? He'd been in my accounts too, my personal accounts. Over the years, he'd siphoned nearly $200,000 from me personally. Money I'd been saving for the wedding, for a house, for our future. Sarah stood by me, but I could see the stress breaking her. Marcus, the wedding, we can't afford it now. Everything we saved, I know. And your mom's medical bills. Daniel had access to that account too. He took that money, Marcus. Money meant for your mother's cancer treatment. That's when I truly understood who Daniel had been all along. Not a friend who'd made bad choices. A predator who'd seen an opportunity and squeezed it for everything it was worth. The private investigator I hired found even more. Daniel had a second apartment I didn't know about. Multiple fake IDs, connections to organized crime. What I thought was corporate fraud was just the surface. Mr. Chen, the detective told me, your friend, if we can call him that, is what we call a social engineer. He identifies marks, builds trust, and exploits it. You weren't a friend. You were a target from day one. I thought about our first meeting, how convenient it had been that we were assigned as roommates, how Daniel had asked so many questions about my family, my background, my skills. It had all been an interview, and I'd passed. Daniel's arrest made regional news. Tech entrepreneur charged with wire fraud, corporate espionage. They found evidence of schemes totaling over $3 million across multiple victims. The trial was brutal. I had to sit there and listen to prosecutors describe how I'd been manipulated, used, exploited. Daniel's defense tried to paint me as equally complicit. He had to have known, his lawyer argued. No one is that trusting. But the evidence was overwhelming. Forensic accountants showed exactly how he'd hidden his activities, how sophisticated his schemes were. The other victims testified. We'd all been chosen carefully, skilled people who were isolated, trusting, eager for connection. Sarah held my hand through every day of testimony. We'd postponed the wedding indefinitely, but she stayed. For better or worse, she whispered, we just got the worst part first. When it was my turn to testify, I looked Daniel in the eye. He looked away. Did you consider Marcus Chen a friend? The prosecutor asked. I considered him useful, Daniel said flatly. That's not the same thing. The jury took 4 hours to convict on all counts. Daniel showed no emotion as the verdict was read. 8 years in federal prison, restitution orders for all victims, asset forfeiture of everything he'd stolen. But I knew the truth. I'd never see most of that money again. He'd hidden too much of it too well. That was 18 months ago. The company is gone. I had to file for bankruptcy. The wedding never happened. Sarah and I went to City Hall on a Tuesday afternoon, just us and 2 witnesses. No honeymoon, no celebration, just us, starting over. I took a job at a smaller tech firm, entry-level salary, nothing glamorous, but honest work with people I verified 6 6 ways from Sunday before I trusted them an inch. My mom's cancer treatment continued, like paid for by Sarah's salary and a payment plan with the hospital. She's in remission now. She tells me that everything happens for a reason, but I'm not sure I believe her yet. The weird thing? I don't hate Daniel. I'm angry, yes. Betrayed, absolutely. But I also feel sad. Sad for someone so broken inside that 10 years of friendship meant nothing. Sad that he threw away something real for money that's now gone. The person who sent me that flash drive? I never found out who it was. The police traced it to a mail drop, paid for in cash. My theory? One of Daniel's other victims, someone who got out earlier and wanted to warn the rest of us. Whoever they are, they saved me from years more of exploitation. I still think about that first night sometimes. Daniel teaching me to talk to investors, genuinely excited about our ideas. Was any of it real? Or was he just that good an actor? Sarah says it doesn't matter. You were real, she tells me. Your friendship was real, even if his wasn't. That's not on you. But here's what I learned. Trust isn't weakness. Being used doesn't make you stupid. It makes you human. Daniel's betrayal says everything about him and nothing about me. 3 months ago, I got a letter from Daniel in prison. I almost threw it away unopened, but curiosity won. Marcus, it read, I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it, but you should know, meeting you wasn't planned. I was actually assigned that dorm room by accident. What I did after, that was calculated. But that first night, when you helped me with my computer science homework, that was real. For about 5 minutes, I actually liked you. Then I saw what you were worth. He continued, I'm not asking for anything. I just thought you should know that out of everyone I conned, you're the one I think about. Not because I feel guilty. I don't do guilt. But because you're the only one who made me wish I was different. That's as close to an apology as I can get. I burned that letter. Not out of anger, but because I didn't want to keep anything from him anymore. Not memories, not explanations, nothing. Last week, Sarah told me she's pregnant. We're having a girl. And I realized something. Daniel took money, business opportunities, years of my life, but he didn't take what matters. He didn't take my integrity. He didn't take Sarah. He didn't take my ability to trust again, even though it's harder now. He didn't take me. So here's my message to anyone watching who's been betrayed like this. The pain is real. The loss is real. The anger is justified. But you're not broken. You're not stupid for trusting. You're not weak for being kind. The Daniel Riveras of the world count on you believing you are. They need you to close off, to become bitter, to stop being human. That's how they win, even after they're caught. Don't give them that victory. I'm Marcus Chen. I was betrayed by my best friend. He stole everything I'd built, and I'm still here, still trusting, still building, still human. That's not naive. That's strength.